Hello, my name is Talisa. Today we are doing an at-home minimal equipment glute exercise class. Now we want strength muscle building, so it is preferable if you do have weights, but if you have absolutely nothing in your household that you can use for weight, you can still do this body weight and do things like slow down the movement to make it more intentional and get more muscle recruitment. So we're not looking for cardiovascular fast movement. We're looking for slow and intentional so we can build the muscle. So the equipment that I'm using, this is a approximately 35-pound kettlebell. If you have a dumbbell, even if you've only got like a 10-pound dumbbell, very optional. If you have any ankle weights and or booty bands, you can use that. And then I've got a bag of books here. So this is just an example of how you can make your own weight at home. So I've got a reusable grocery bag. I filled it with big books. If you want to know how much it weighs, go and stand on a scale with and without the bag. If you don't have a scale, then you're just doing your best with what you've got. You can fill this with water bottles, with canned goods, whatever you have around the house. Be creative. And again, if you have absolutely nothing, it's still better to do something than nothing. We need to start with our warm up. Let's do leg swings front and back, keeping the lower back and core out of this, so the swing is only in the leg. So if you can see the difference here where I'm getting my spine into it, we don't want that. We want to keep it in the lower portion. Turn sideways, swing side to side now. We're just getting the blood flowing, lubricating through the joints. And switch side, other leg, front and back. And then turn side to side. Let's come down into a deep squat, as deep as that squat looks for you. Maybe your heels are up off of the ground. But from here, what we're doing is just straightening the legs. We're not looking for a hamstring stretch here. We're just, again, lubricating through the joints. Getting some movement, preparing the body for the exercises that are to come. Now come to standing. And right now we're gonna review the difference between a hinge and a squat, just because this is problematic for a lot of people. And without being able to see you, I just wanna make sure that everyone knows the difference between a hinge and a squat. So a hinge, the movement comes from the hips. You can see there's a gentle bend in the knee, so it looks like my knees are bent, but my knees aren't actually moving with a hinge. I'm bringing my chest towards, more parallel to the ground, and it's my hips that are moving back a bit. Now with the squat, my chest stays more upright, and now I'm getting my knees into the mix, and there's a bend at my hips as well. But a nice way to really feel the difference is to combine the two. So we're hinging at the hips first for our hinge, and now lift the chest, bend down, sitting down like you're sitting in a chair for that squat movement. So reverse that, hinge, squat, hinge, stand up. Hinge, squat, hinge, come up. And you can see my arms there too. If you're looking to do a hinge, but you need your arms out in front of you for a counterbalance, there's a good chance you're doing a squat. Because to keep myself from falling backwards, I use my arms as counterbalance in the squat position. You shouldn't need that with a hinge. All right, that was part of our warm up. Step it out, shake it out if you need to as well. I'm very quad dominant, so I like to stretch out my quads just to relax them so that they don't try to take over the movements for me. So if you find that your quads are really burning when you're trying to focus more on the posterior chain, so your hamstrings and your glutes, then just do some quad stretches in between. That's what I do. Again, quad dominant. I find it works for me. Take it or leave it. We're gonna start with kettlebell swings. So if you've got your bag, your really usable grocery bag, just try to bunch it up so that you don't have too much slack. And with our kettlebell swings, this is a hinge movement. We're not using the arms as well. You'll feel some strength required in your forearms, your grip strength to hold onto the weight, but you shouldn't feel anything in your shoulders. So you're not lifting the weight higher than it needs to go. The arms are just a pendulum. So with a hinge movement, we're using the glutes and the hamstrings to power the weight forward. So my arms only come to approximately chest level. I'm not trying to use my shoulders to swing it higher. This is all in the lower body. Let's go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slow down the swing and set this weight down. The next move we're gonna do is also using the weight. We're gonna do curtsy squats. I love these ones. Now we're all proportioned differently, as in like our femurs are different lengths. So this is how I like to set up my curtsy squat, showing you from both angles, but maybe you like your foot closer and further to the side. However you want to do it, make those micro adjustments so that you feel the most engagement as possible in that glute. So I'm starting, actually, let's start with our weak side. So that's left leg for me. Get set up. I like to hold the weight on the outside. Maybe you find you like the weight better on the inside. Try different things. We're gonna do 15 on this side. 1, 2, the back foot is just a kickstand. Most of your weight is in the front foot. I think this is 5, 6, 7. If you're doing this with no weight, imagine moving through molasses to slow down your movement. We'll call that 9, 10. So you're creating resistance by imagining moving through that thick fluid liquid. We'll call that 13, 14, 15. It's hard to talk and count at the same time. This is just a rough art that we're doing today. Let's do 12 on the other side, because again, for a lot of people, left leg is less dominant. You can develop a weakness, an imbalance. So to catch that leg up, we start with it first and make it do a little bit more work. Let's do 12 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Slow it down a little bit if you're moving too fast, like I usually do. 9, 10, 11, 12. Set the weight off of your mat if you're using a mat. We'll give our arms a little bit of a break, our grip a little bit of a break. Now we're gonna make our shoulders and chest kind of work a little bit. So if you have any issues with your upper body, like if you have a shoulder injury, we're doing hip thrusts now. So you can do this laying on your lower back and do hip thrusts like that. I personally just feel it more when I do it from a reverse tabletop position. But again, this is your workout, make it your own. If you want to lean against a bench or a couch or something for your hip thrusts, then by all means. But if you're following along with me, come to this reverse tabletop position, lift your hips up, and now keeping a neutral spine, lower halfway, lift. That's 1, 2, 3. We're not using weight here, so imagine moving through molasses. 4, especially on this part, the eccentric, the lower. 5, push through the molasses. 6, 7, 8. We're going to do 15 of these. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Lower the hips down. The next move we're going to do are stiff leg deadlifts or RDLs. So this is more of that hinge movement as well. That's how we get, I'm going to turn this way. So for this, we're holding the weight, maybe it's our bag, whatever it may be. And to keep it more in the glutes, I'm going to lower down so that my hands are just below the knees. If I come any lower than that, I'm really getting a stretch in the hamstrings, but I really want to keep most of the tension in the glute. So I'm going to stop right here, just hinging, and then coming up. When you're coming up, don't worry about hyperextending here and really squeezing your glutes through. Just keep a nice engagement, come all the way up. This is nice enough for that ending point. Come down. Now let's do it with our weight. Let's do 12 of these. 1, move slow and intentional. 2, 3, really engage your core. Think about bearing down, creating pressure through the abdomen. That'll help protect our lower back. We'll call that 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Beautiful. Set your weight aside. Next move we're going to do are our kneeling donkey kicks, we'll call them. So this is where you can use either a booty band or an ankle weight. Since I have both, I'm just going to do both. So starting with the weaker leg, I'm putting the ankle weight on my left side. I think these are like 5 pounds. I can't even remember. All right, for this, the non-working leg, so the planted leg, I put the booty band under the knee, and then on the working leg, I have the band so it's hooked just above the knee. And I also find I get better engagement when I come down on my forearms, but see if you like being up on the hands better. Let's get set up. We're gonna do, we'll do 15 of these. Think about pushing the ceiling away and then lowering the ceiling down. Push the ceiling away, that's 2. 3, so if you don't have a booty band or ankle weights, think about actually pushing the ceiling away, like there's the weight of the ceiling on your foot and you're controlling it with your leg for the ups and downs. I think that was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, no sway through the lower back. 12, this is all in the glute. 13, 14, 15. Slowly bring it down. If you're doing ankle weights, switch sides. After this, we're doing 2 more like accessory moves, and then a short cool down. Once you are all set up, come back to the tabletop position. Come down to the forearms, get ready. And here we go. Let's go. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Last 2 moves, no equipment is required. So set your stuff off to the side. The first one we're going to be doing is a sideline clamshell. So I like to kind of nook my top foot into that bottom foot. You can see it's like a little puzzle piece. They fit together really nice. That's really comfortable for me. Down on the forearm. And for this, we're fully lifting up. So the shin, the knee stays down on that bottom leg, but we're lifting the hip for 1, 2, 3, going to 15 for this. 4, 5, 6, 7, move through molasses. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Lower, switch to the other side. So nook that top foot in, down on the forearm. Here we go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, slowly lower and come to seated. We're gonna do a 90-90. So that was working more on our glute med, that smaller side glute muscle. And this one's doing the same thing. To make this easier, lean over the front leg. We're lifting that back ankle up off of the ground. To make it more difficult, sit more upright. You'll see that it doesn't lift up as high. So find where you wanna go. Let's do 10 of these. 1, 2, 3. This is where we wanna feel it. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now either do 5 more of those if you want a little bit more. Lift the ankle and the knee up for 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Switch sides. Get set up. Decide if you're going to lean more forward or more upright. Lifting just the ankle for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 more of those, or lift up the knee as well this time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Quick little stretch. Let's come to a seated forward fold. So legs are out in front of you. Lead with the rib cage, the chest. So we're not rounding and leading with the face. That's a back stretch. We want a hamstring stretch right now. Just gentle here. We really just use those muscles. They're going to be more tense. They're not going to be as open. So you might not be able to fold as deep. That's fine. We're relieving, relaxing the muscles after we just use them in a strengthening manner. You can see I'm rocking side to side. I like a little bit of movement. If you prefer stillness, then by all means. My toes are pointed just to switch up the sensation. I feel a little bit more along the tops of the lower portion of the legs. And then if you flex your feet, you'll feel it even more along the back side of the legs. Holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come up. Let's get into the hips, so the glutes, a little bit with double pigeon. I like to have my feet on the inside of the knees. Maybe you want to stack more on top. That's just really intense, and my hips are not open for that right now. So with the feet on the inside of the knees, feet are flexed. You should feel the stretch in the hip of the top leg. Maybe you stay upright with the arms behind you to help keep your chest proud, to help you sit upright so we're not hunched over. And then if you're able to, you can start hinging forward. If you're able to bring the arms in front of you without losing that nice neutral spine, flat back, then do so. Again, you can find stillness or that gentle swaying side to side. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly work your way up. Switch out sides when you're ready. Flex through the feet. Bring your arms behind you again to really help with that more upright position, no hunching over. And then maybe, if it's accessible, you start to hinge. You just want to be able to feel a sensation. We want to feel that stretching sensation, and one that we can still breathe through. So no ego stretching here. You can find your stillness or that gentle swaying. Holding here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come up. We're going to work. We didn't really strengthen the adductors in this class. I'll do it in another one because I do think it's good to strengthen every part of our legs. It's great to have big glutes and everything, but it's even better to function optimally. So coming into a straddle, doesn't matter how narrow or wide your straddle is. Same thing if you have a tendency to hunch here. Maybe you need a block or something under your hips to help you sit more upright, or bring your arms behind you. And if you feel a stretch being upright like this, then stay right here. If you're able to start hinging without losing the integrity of the spine, then do so. Bring your arms in front of you. If again, you can do so without too drastically rounding through the spine. Same thing, find stillness or gentle rocking. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly work your way back up. We're gonna do one more stretch for the quads. 2 options here. If you have kind of finicky knees, this might be better for you. It's funny, for me, this one, it feels horrible on my knees. I don't like this one. But the one that I like can be really intense on people's knees. So maybe try both and see what works best for you, or maybe your knees are great and don't cause you any issues whatsoever. But this sideline one, I find I need to keep my knees apart to make it a little more comfortable on my knee, but then you're just pulling the heel in towards the bum. Slightly push your hips forward, pull that knee away from you, and you should really feel a stretch along the front of that bent leg. If you want to try my version with me, come into a half fixed firm hero's pose. So this leg is bent, foot is on the outside of the hip. I like to plant and bend my other leg. You might feel enough of a sensation here. Maybe you need to come back onto the forearms, or maybe you can come all the way down onto your back. If you're all the way down with me, I like to use this other bent leg to push through the ground, and it helps me tuck my tailbone under a little bit more and reach that knee away, and I feel such a glorious stretch along that quad. Wherever you are, sideline, in a seated or reclined or fully reclined position, we're holding this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch to the other side by whatever means necessary. So if you're all the way down like me, you might need to come all the way up and out of it. I like to just roll off to my side, slide that leg out, and then roll to the other side and slide this leg in. Adjust, get situated. Find your stretch, make all those micro adjustments, and now enjoy the stretch. Stretching can be intense, but if you don't push too hard, you can find that sweet point where it's enjoyable. It feels really good. Holding this one for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come out of it. Come to a gentle seated or a nice, comfortable seated position. I hope that you found some engagement and could really feel it in your glutes. Again, it's a little bit different for each of us. There is good form and technique, like if you notice when you're doing any bent leg movements and your knees are really caving inwards a lot, that's a weakness in your outer glutes, and you need to work a little bit harder to have your, I like to give the cue of tracking your knees more towards the baby toe, not the big toe. So there's things like that that can really help stave off injury. But for other things like the exact placement of your foot, in our curtsy lunge, how crossed that leg is, how close that back foot is towards you, I find that's all very personalized. Since we all have different experience levels, past injuries, proportion differently. So don't feel like it has to look exactly like anyone else. If you get a zealot telling you that there's only one way to absolutely do any exercise, I don't know, I take all of that with a grain of salt. I like to make little adjustments so that I can feel what works best for me. So you do have that freedom in your movement as well. I hope you got something out of this video. If you did, I would ask and appreciate if you would like, comment, subscribe, and or share. And since I'm used to ending all my classes with namaste, let's bring our hands to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for taking this time for yourself. And in closing, we say namaste.